Hi, this is my Lab 3 video, illustrations of bone and skin. And I'll start with show you that my workspace is clear, just my two illustrations and my list of terms I need to rattle off. I will start with my illustration of the skin. See here. I'll start with the layers of the epidermis. The epidermis is made out of stratified squamous epithelial tissue. The most outside layer is your stratum corneum. These are actually dead keratinocytes. These shed off. Below that, you only find this in thick skin, is our stratum lucidum. Below that, you'll find our stratum granuloseum. These have little granules in them because they produce keratin, which strengthens the cells as they move out. Below that, you have our stratum spineosium. Below that, this is just one single layer, your stratum basal. These are actually stem cells that then turn into the keratinocytes. Here, you actually have a melanocyte. This is what gives your skin color. This produces melanin that spreads throughout the other layers. Below that, we have our basement membrane. This is what attaches the epidermis to the dermis below. And moving down, we actually have our dermis. So the first layer is our papillary level. This is made out of areolar tissue. Below that, you see in green, it's actually our reticulary level. This is made out of irregular connective tissue. And then finally below that, you actually have our hypodermis. This is made out of adipose tissue and areolar tissue, just like the papillary level. And you see we have our blood vessels through here. And off to the side we have a sweat gland. That's an exocrine gland, meaning that it releases its secretions on the outside of the body. This is made out of epithelial tissue and it secretes water. Moving on, we have our bone tissue. We'll start with, we have our osteocyte, which are actually the cells that turn into bone tissue. And then the space around it in green is the lacuna. Basically, these are hollow out spaces where these osteocytes exist at. And then we have our canaloculi, which are the little arms that go off and how this connects to everything else. Then we have our osteon, which is these round things within the hard or the compact bone tissue itself. In the osteon, we have our central canal, where you'll see here, where the blood vessels, the nerves come up. And then these outside layers here are called our circumventral lamellae. And then on the outside of your compact bone itself, you have your concentric lamellae. And then in blue here, you see we have our periosteum. This is the outside of the bone. And I don't have someone to help me, so I will just demonstrate the bones and the muscles on myself. So I'll start with the skull. We have our frontal bone here. And moving back, we have our parietal bone. And on the sides, we have our temporal bones, just right where your temples would be. And in the back of the skull, we have our occipital bone. We have our maxilla, which is basically the bone of your upper lip. Your nasal bone, just the bridge of your nose. Below that, this is cartilage. Your mandible is your jaw. Your zygomatics, basically your cheekbones. And moving down, you have your sternum, just right here in front of your chest. Your rectus abdominis, which is the front of your stomach. Your obliques, which are the side. And then you have your diaphragm, which is kind of like a U-shaped muscle that is in below your rib cage. We got our hyoid bone is in our throat here. Your sphenoid bone, really like the center of your skull, but the sides of it jut out in front of your temporal bone. You have your sternocleidomastoid muscles, which are on your neck here, run along the sides. Your trapezius muscle, which basically be here, the back side of your neck. And then move down into your vertebrae. Excuse me. You have your cervical vertebrae. You have 1 through 7. See 1 through 7. This basically starts at the base of your neck, runs down until it runs into the thoracic vertebrae. These you have 12 of, T1 through T12. Basically the length of your rib cage. Below that, you have your lumbar vertebrae, 5 of these, L1 through L5, basically your lower back. And then below that, it would be your tailbone here. This is referred to as S1 through S5 in some situations, but these are vertebrae that are fused together, form your sacrum and your coccyx. Thank you.